Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Well, we continue our look back at some of the stories we've covered over the last 9 years, beginning this week with a profile on the Girls of Pittsford swimming, including Katie Smith and Lindsay Stone. Here's our story from November of 2015.
Mr. Starter.
This is the constellation sign. State your honor.
It was the type of performance you had to see to believe. Pittsford senior Katie Smith with a time of 22.78 seconds in the 50-meter freestyle, breaking her own state record, and in the process becoming the first female swimmer in New York high school history to swim that event in under 23 seconds. Safe to say this makes up for last year when Katie was disqualified from the very same event.
I mean, I've been training really hard all year, so I was hoping to go fast time, and I was happy with it, and hopefully we still have the state meet, so even faster, hopefully.
I don't know if you guys saw, Katie just won a little 22 there, which is pretty amazing. State record, beating her own, and senior year, what better to do it than sectional finals? Get everyone else pumped up. So yeah, I've got the 500 left. I did okay in the 200, but it's just, now we're all excited and we're ready to wrap it up.
This year's team title makes it 14 straight for Pittsford, an amazing run. You can be sure that nobody wants to be part of the team that fails to keep it going. That's part of the reason they work so hard to make sure that doesn't happen.
It's pretty amazing to be so fortunate to have all these girls on our team. We really have 18 strong girls on our team this year, and it's just been a great experience to be one of the best teams Pittsford's ever had, if not the best.
It's been a legacy, as you said. It's a team that has had a really good past, and each year the new kids come in, the younger kids, we just teach them our traditions and our work ethic, and they just continue it. And I'm leaving this year, so I know that I'll be leaving the team in good hands.
One of those younger girls trying to keep the tradition alive in the future is someone Katie is very familiar with. Her younger sister Sarah is a sophomore who is swimming against her in the 50 and 100 meter freestyle.
It's really great. It's very team oriented. Everyone on the team is so close, and we're together so much that we have to be. And it's really great practicing with everyone and everyone pushing each other to do better every day.
Tradition is one thing, but combining so much talent with a lot of hard work, that goes a long way.
Yeah, the whole team has worked so hard this year, and just joining in such a competitive and excited and hardworking team really motivates everyone and helps us to push ourselves and do our best.
You might think there's something in the water in Pittsford. Maybe that's true. We can tell you one thing, there is definitely something special in the water when these girls are competing.
Talk about what it's like to be a part of a program like this where, I imagine when you're in practice, there's a lot of pushing of each other, isn't there?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive within the team, competing for spots and everything, but it's a good competitiveness, and it's nice to have other people to work against, but with at the same time. And then we come to meets like this, and I know in the 500 we've got the top 4 spots, so it's just good to have that competition, and we're all really supportive of each other, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, our team each year sets the bar high, and we work all year-round, most of us, and that definitely helps us to do our best and succeed.
For the Vision High School Sports Beat, I'm Dave Yates.
Katie and Lindsay are still teammates, but now they're making a splash for Notre Dame. Well, coming up next, Jason Bunting from Section 5 Baseball and Greece Athena joins us for the High School Notebook. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat continues. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I am Dave Yates. It's time now for the High School Notebook, and we are pleased to be joined this week by Jason Bunting, the head baseball coach at Greece Athena High School, and also the Section 5 coordinator for baseball. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, obviously, this is first of all, things good with your family, your household, everything.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I've my kids are good. They're in their 20s, and my daughter's actually a teacher, so she's teaching from here, helping her old father out, actually, which is nice. And my wife's here. She turns 50 today, so she's got a nice birthday. Not going anywhere. So, but she's working from home. Everybody's here, safe. Thank you. Yes, everything's good.
All right, very nice. That puts the pressure on you for once this is all over. You've really got to step your game up as far as the birthday party and everything. Right?
Tell me about it. My son missed his 22nd last week. My wife's 50th. I got a lot to make up for.
Well, Jason, let's talk about baseball now. Let's talk about. Obviously, this is. Today, the state came out and said they're canceling the state championship. That was pretty much a foregone conclusion. But as far as Section 5, as of right now, still holding out hope for something, but realistically, kind of doubtful. Talk about how tough this is for the kids, especially the seniors, to go through this.
Yeah, it's really tough. I was talking to my son the other day who's in college, and I said, imagine you being told, in March of your senior year that you couldn't play ball anymore. And so really think about that. It's like, man, I don't know what I would have done. And so, he's close to it, and it's really, I really feel bad, having done this for a while. I feel bad for my seniors. I feel bad that, you tell them, hey, let's work hard and we'll do this. And then they did work hard and nothing happens. And, I know there's bigger things out there than high school baseball or high school sports in general. But on a smaller level, I do feel bad for them in terms of what they missed out on their senior year. Talk
a little bit about some of the things that you were looking forward to this coming season across Section 5 in baseball. Some of the showdowns, some of the great athletes that we're missing out on right now because of this.
I think what this has made me realize, what I miss out on the most is just the day-to-day relationships with the kids. As coaches, that's what we do it for. We do it because we enjoy the day-to-day, just the interaction with the guys. Like I say, it's the games. Yes, we miss the games, but it's that day-to-day interaction, the busting chops, the stories that the kids and the lives that they're going through. I'm supposed to be going to a wedding of a kid that graduated a few years ago this summer. It's stuff like that where I can see these kids years from now and say, hey, remember when so-and-so did this? Or, the games are great, don't get me wrong, and that's what we do it for, but it's the relationships and the bonds that you build with these kids that I feel like we missed out on, for sure.
Now, for yourself, for the Athena program, talk about some of the kids. I know you've got a couple kids that are going on. They're going to be part of the handful that's still playing in college, and that's good for them. And obviously not how they want their career at Athena to end, but they're going on.
Yeah, and we did. We have 13 seniors.
Wow.
And it's a lot. And quite a few of them are going on to play at junior colleges, and they are going on to play at junior colleges. One kid's going to Bonaventure. If you talk to those kids, they work so hard for this season, for this senior year, and that's the piece that I feel bad, and I feel bad for the kids that aren't going on to play ball. That this was kind of like their last hurrah to play ball with their buddies, and we had a tight group. Not that every year it's not like that. So this year we had a bunch of guys that are really close. The families are close, and they were ready to do some good things this spring. And that's the unfortunate part about this whole season, really.
The majority of the stuff I remember, like you said, is the practices and the relationships you have with your teammates and your coaches. That's what sticks with you afterwards.
Yeah.
The game's like the gravy of it almost.
Right. The stuff that nobody else sees, right? The stuff that nobody else sees,
Exactly. So, hey, Jason, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks.
All right, you stay well. Take care.
Take care. You too.
All right, we're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kylo O'Gara, and later, a look back at a big boys basketball game between Fairport and Webster Schroeder. We'll have those highlights when the High School Sports Beat continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat. I'm Kyle O'Gara.
McKinley Grade this week is Pembroke Jr. Emily Peters. Emily is a triple threat athletically, as she plays varsity basketball, runs cross country, and runs track and field. As if being an athlete in 3 different sports wasn't impressive enough, Emily has been on each team for 5 years. Emily has 3 Class C sectional titles, holds the school record for 3-pointers, and has made multiple all-star teams for all of her sports. In the classroom, Emily has a perfect 100% average, is class vice president, a member of the National Honor Society, and a president of the DECA chapter. This week, Emily Peters is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. Now here's Dave in the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here's how some of the athletes, teams, and coaches are handling quarantine in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdle's in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
McArdle's is open for takeout and delivery with DoorDash and Grubhub every day of the week. Visit our website, eatatmcardles.com.
The boys of Eastridge football are getting their work in, like Nico Servideo.
I nominate Aiden Early, Andrew Hill, and Nicholas Leonardi.
The Grease Storm Lacrosse Challenge is to film your workout, as demonstrated here by Jonathan Bucciarelli. It's hard to celebrate a birthday in quarantine, so the men and girls basketball team let Coach Todd Julian know they didn't forget him on his special day. If your team or school would like to share their quarantine activities, workouts, or challenges, just let us know. Tag @HighSchoolSportsBeat on social media. Well, coming up next, Emmett Holt and Schroeder take on Fairport. We'll have that story when the High School Sports Beat continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. It was a classic matchup with Fairport and Webster Schroeder meeting as 2 of the top teams in the county in boys basketball. A packed house witnessed a game that came down to the final second from February 2013. Here's Bill Pucka.
It was the biggest boys basketball game of the year. The top 2 teams in the county, the top 2 teams in the polls, an age-old East Side rivalry, Fairport and Webster, on Schroeder's senior night, no less.
I don't think that in order to prove that we're good, that we need to beat them. We know we're a good basketball team. I don't think that a lot of people know how good we are. I think that if there's any external motivation, it's that.
The only loss in 28 games between them, Fairport's win over Webster 6 weeks earlier.
I grew up with the Webster-Fairport rivalry. It's great to look around and see the crowd, full. In this gym, I haven't seen this gym full in a long time. So it's great for us. It's great for the rivalry, and it's good for local high school basketball.
When they finally got around to starting the game, Schroeder owned the early emotional edge. Senior Justin Maggio scored on a dribble-up 3-pointer to give the Warriors an early 13-4 lead, their biggest of the game. Late in the quarter, Emmett Holt got the ball to Maggio in the corner for another 3-pointer. Justin with Schroeder's high score with 18 points. Did the 9-point lead feel pretty good at that point?
Oh, definitely. We usually come out really flat in our first quarters, but we came out strong. We gave it up, but that first lead helped us.
The second quarter turned on the play of Fairport senior guard Brian Sortino. As part of a 14-0 Raider run, Sortino scored 3 consecutive times down the court. Brian had a 10-point quarter, and Fairport owned a 4-point lead at the half. The game stayed close throughout the third. Fairport's Dan Messino scored a couple of three-pointers, one from long range, the other going old school off the drive and drawing the foul. Messino finished with 12.
The energy from their crowd, it was unbelievable. Their senior night, I think they came out with a little more energy than us. But after, the first couple minutes, I think we got in our heads and we got to start playing together again, because that's what's made us successful, and that's what we did to get us back in the game.
The Raiders carried a 5-point lead into the final quarter of regulation. The Warriors scored off a steal from Sortino, and an uncontested basket by Maggio tied the game with 2:42 left. Down 3, Fairport got the last bucket of the quarter, a bomb by Alex Dosch to send the game to overtime. 4 more minutes of this. Biggest basket of the fifth quarter was scored by the Warriors, thanks largely to senior Mitchell Herman. In foul trouble from the start, Herman had 3 rebounds on the possession, keeping the play alive for Gunnar Blaze to score off the drive, draw the foul, and convert the 3-point play. We were headed to a second overtime. Tell me about that play.
Well, I'm thanks for Mitchell. I got 3 rebounds on that play. I don't know. I just saw the open hole and just went for it. And nothing else. It was amazing.
Off the bench for Webster, junior Connor Scott. 8 for 9 during the season from 3-point range. He hit another to give the Warriors a 1-point lead. Eli Jones was high man for Fairport with 24 points, putting the Raiders out in front, 69-68. Then Holt scored for Schroeder down low, make it 70-69 Warriors. Emmett with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 big block shots. Fairport was 1 point down, taking final possession with the shot clock off. What's that like? What's it mean?
It's huge. We got in the state of the division again. We defended it for the second year in a row. And just like Coach always says, it's a good win. Sleep with it off tonight, and then we got another one tomorrow against Niagara Falls.
Yeah, it was a great game. You had 2 really good basketball teams that have a lot of heart and passion, and it was just it was one of those great battles, I think, that people are going to remember for a long time. You learn from every game, and sometimes you learn the most from losses, even though they're not fun.
Emmett Holt's college basketball career has had many ups and downs, including a near-fatal illness. But he returned for a graduate season with Providence, and just last week was named the Friars Unsung Hero Award winner for the season. We'd like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care and stay safe.